everybody. Welcome or welcome back. My name is Monique. Welcome to Medora Budgets. I'd like to thank anybody who's liked or commented on any of my videos, especially those that have chosen to subscribe to my channel. Truly started this as a way to hold myself accountable, but I understand, recognize, and appreciate the community as a whole. If you are rocking with me on this journey, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you haven't made up your mind yet, sit with me for a spell. At the end of this video, if it's content you find valuable or enjoyable, please feel free to subscribe. It's myself and Sweets, married with a whole bunch of kids, trying to figure out our future, family, and finances, so the decisions we're making now won't negatively impact us in the future. Today is, what is it? It is Saturday the 20th. You will actually see this video on Saturday if I can get my shiznit together and get this video out. All right, let's get it. Let's go. As you guys know, we are working with our Traveler's Notebook, the graph version, and that's what I use for my budget. So I'm going to pull it out of my Traveler's Notebook Moterm that I have for all of my other stuff, and we're going to sit that over to the side. All right, so here's our information. So first we'll go to BB, and we'll mark off a couple of things. I am using the fountain pen that I got in the cloth and paper subscription box, I believe from, what's this, September? So August, I think it's from August. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, we didn't do Lawn Love, didn't have to worry about them. Greens got cleared, and I did take care of my tithes as well. We'll mark those off, even though I didn't have to do anything for them. So things are moving right along. So this is the overall monthly view that I tend to use in order just to make sure that everything is happening the way that it is supposed to. All right. Next, we are here to do a paycheck budget closeout. Yes. Okay. We're here to do a paycheck budget closeout for this time period. I don't know what I said earlier. So if I did not say that, that is what we are here to do today. So I got a check on the 19th, which was yesterday. So now we're going to close out the budget that's located in this orange piece. So from the 5th through the 18th, that is what we're covering for this paycheck budget closeout. Okay. All right. I am going to scooch in just a tad, and now we should be good to go. All right. We are looking at the September 5th check, 9/5 to 9/18. So here's where I have the budget overall in the different categories, how my inflow happens as well as my outflow. And these are all bills or debt, variables, and savings as well. I keep track of 3 items for all of my outflows. For inflow, I keep track of budget and then actuals. For outflows, I keep track of budget, allocated, and spent, because I do capture my rollover. And I'm trying to get to a point where what I show here that should be available as the rollover is exactly what I have showing in my account as available for the rollover as well. And we'll see how close I can get to that. One of the things I also wrote in here, just on the fly, kind of, we didn't talk about this before, but all of the payments that I made to my Chase Freedom credit card during this particular paycheck cycle. So from 9/5 to 9/18, how much money that I actually put on the card. And the reason why I wanted to do that is because I'm tracking all of my spent for variable and out of my savings, my sinking funds. And I want to make sure that what I am putting on the card should be less than what I'm spending, because I'm using a velocity banking model. And so what I do is, as soon as I get some money, I try to put it on that card right away. And then I try to spend from the card. It's my everyday card, everyday carry, the thing that I use for everything that's outside of bills and debt. So I got to be sure that what I'm spending is less, of course, than what I've put on the card itself, just to make sure that I'm getting that balance to come down. Okay, sorry. That was a lot of explanation. All right, so let me stick this over to the side because I don't need that for right now. So this is the way that the budget laid out. I've already calculated for the first week of that paycheck cycle what all my numbers are for my variables: food, gas, home, personal, whenever I use sinking funds, etc. And then over here, I did it for week 2. So this would have been from 9/5. It should have said 9/5 to 9/11, but I went out of town on 9/11. So I wrapped it up a little bit sooner. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days on this side, 8 days on this side, but still the cycle is covered, 9/5 through 9/18. So I just went in and wrote out all of my variable expenses down here to make sure I tallied them up on this side. And I'm also, what you see here in green, dark green, is where I am tracking all of the expenses or all of the inflow, additional inflow that I've had into my account. So this past week has been very interesting. While we were out of town, you know, Sweets and I went out of town. While we went out of town, there was a little issue with Corinne's car where her brake lights would not turn off. Turns out it's something that happens pretty often. So even after the car was shut off, the brake lights were still on. And it's something about a brake stopper or switch that might have gone bad. And Micah realized that he needs to get his brakes done as well. So we do have a mobile mechanic that we utilize. And so these are the items that you see here. So Micah had to pay $128.38 for the brakes. He was able to take care of Corinne's car and the stopper without us having to buy any items for him to use. And then this other miscellaneous you see here for $250 is how much he charged us for both, to do the brakes and to take care of the brake stopper for Corinne's car. And here's where we were taking the money out of their accounts or having them give us the money so that those costs can be covered. If you drive in the car, you need to be able to afford to drive the car. So that's what you see here. So all of these together total $378.38, and you'll see here that's what that aligns here. The $128.38 plus the $250 is the exact same amount. So what I'm trying to show here is where I've had to bring money into the budget to cover money that was going out of the budget, where we had the funds available. So give me 1 second. I want to look and make sure you guys can read and see. I had to stand up for a minute. I'm gonna go and just come in. That's a little bit too much. Come out right about there. Okay. I don't know if that was the same as we had before, but there you go. I just want to be sure that you guys can see. All right. So we are good to go. I'm using a little bit of a different setup. So all of these amounts here and all of these amounts here, I have already taken them and we've added them over here. So under spent, you've got 2 columns now, one for week 1 of that paycheck cycle, one for week 2. And then anywhere that there was extra, like a Micah and Sweets, they're not listed here as typical variables. So I went ahead and added those in. And although we didn't budget anything or allocate anything, we did spend. So we made sure that we wrote it over there. So my hope is that being more diligent about documenting every dollar will help me to get closer to that balance that I want to see, where what I show here as rollover is what I have in the account. So now it's time to start totaling up all of this mess overall. Okay, so first we're going to start with inflow. Let me draw a line here. So $1,600 went into the bills account. For variable account, instead of it having $800, we deposited $791.38. And that's because I had to set up a direct debit for my new Cap One account in preparation for changing my direct debit so that I can qualify for the $250 bonus. So I had a little bit of money going over there. I wanted to test it out first before I started to send a large amount of money over there. And so that's why we only had $791.38 we were working with. Sweets did give me, although I didn't budget anything, he gave me $280. Now, 80 of that goes here towards lawn because they hit my card for the $76.79 for his South Carolina property. So he gave me $80 to help offset the cost. So that's the money that I got from Sweets each week. And then this is where I brought in any additional miscellaneous money that was outside of sinking funds. So right here, Corinne sent Cash App me $25 to help offset the cost of getting her windshield wipers. And then I had a sale in Macari. Both of those together was $34.57. The $50 was me moving money over from Cap One back over to my Chase account to have it a part of the budget. And then this $398 is a cashback reward that I got from Chase. My Chase checking account was for the $398. So those are all of those amounts that you see there. And then the sinking fund amounts that I brought in each week. Week 1, all of these, the interest from high yield savings account, my planner sinking fund, home buffer sinking fund, and from APCU, which is a credit union that I use to hold the money for Sweets and I for any date nights, anniversaries, etc. I brought $120 out of that account over into this account. So that was a total of $300.60. That's what you see here, week 1. And then week 2, I just talked about it, was the $378.38 from these 3 expenses. So we've been able to account for all of the money. That's what Sweets gave me week 2. That's what Sweets gave me week 1. So now you see, hopefully it's starting to make sense what I'm doing here, and then to help what I'm doing over here. All right, and then for rollover, I thought I was gonna have $13.02 to work with, but my actual was $11.12.43 from my bills account and $190 from my variable account. Actually, both of these together kind of adds up to that same amount. So there you go. All right, so let's see what we're looking like. That is $1,600. I was working with $4,741.34. $4,741.34. All right. We took care of the budgeted amounts. These are what I did as a part of my budget with me for my outflow. These are all bills that I have and debt. Now let's look at allocated. So this is the amount of money that I actually allocated for each of these envelopes in YNAB. Y'all, what? I allocated exactly $1,600. Which I think is what I'm supposed to do. So I had $1,557, but as you see, you saw a few of these things increase a little bit here. AHS I put up by $10. Here, nope, not there. Here I gave Tidal Wave a little bit more, $21.01. A little bit more to maintenance, a little bit more to oil change. So I did make some adjustments. So I actually allocated the full $1,600 that I actually deposited into that bills account. All right, now let's see what was spent out of that. Alrighty, I spent $782. What does that say? $782.90. Let me look at something. When did I pay my mortgage, y'all? Oh, back over here. Okay, $782.90. Okay, good stuff. All right, so over here, same thing, my variables. What did I budget? What was my allocation in, not in YNAB, but what did I decide to do based on the money that I actually had available? And then how much did I spend each week? So I budgeted $420. I was able to actually put $500 towards all of these variable expenses that you see here. And then we're going to tally up what I actually spent. Now this piece that you're looking at right here in the middle, sorry, let's see. This part, don't pay attention to it just yet. Don't pay attention to that part just yet. Those are the payments I made to Chase. We'll talk about that a little bit later if we have time. All right, so let's see what we spent. All right, $1,242.95. $242.95. Okay, and then let's look at our savings allocations. So here's what I budgeted to get to about $300. Here's what I actually allocated. There were some changes to these categories as well. Let me tally that up real fast. Still at $300. The allocations were different, but the total remained the same. All right, and then let's talk about what we spent. And then here's cash. I took out $25 in cash week 1. I took out $20 in cash week 2. I wanted to keep track of how I spent all of that money. I did a better job keeping track of my cash over here for week 1. That's the light green that you see. Week 2, I gave up. We were out of town, and yeah. All right, so let's see what we spent out of our sinking funds. I'm wrapping it all together, and I'm going to include the cash. Should I? I should not. So that's minus 45. So I spent $185.13. Okay, allocated 300, spent 185.13 out of there. Okay, now let's see, and then I've got this $45 here for the cash that was spent. Just write 45 down there. All right, let us now see where we are. All right, so I budgeted for inflow 3702.43. Actually, my actual. Should I do actual here? It shouldn't really be spent, so that should be 4741.34 there. All right, for outflow, that's how much I spent. I have $782.90. Yeah, $782.90 plus $1242.95 plus $185.13 plus 45 equals. Well, now that says I spent $125,000. All right, so let's do that again. $782.90 plus 1242.95 plus 185.13 plus 45 equals. Spent $255.98. Subtract that from 4741.34 equals, I don't know if that's right, $2,485.36. All right, the way to tell, let's leave that there, 2485.36. The way we should be able to tell if we're close, let's come over here, and I had $2,006.32 in my bills account when I got my paycheck on the 19th. I looked at what my balances were right before the my direct debits hit, or direct deposits hit. So I had $2,006.32 in the bills account. 2006.32. Okay, and I had $235 in the other account. So plus 235. So it still shows I'm under there's $244.04 I haven't really accounted for. All right, so let me just write that in. Just gonna do that here. Saying I should have $244.04 more, $244.04 more than what this is saying that I have. I think that's the way to do it, because it says 2485.36, and I had 6 plus 235 equals. I had $2,241.32 in my accounts. This says I should have had $2,485.36. All right, so now these numbers might come in handy here. So I am going to remove off the Sweets money, Micah's money. I'm trying to see how to get to this number. So this miscellaneous stuff, dang. I have a feeling that money is in here somewhere. Because these are Chase payments that I made, but all of this wasn't spent on the Chase card. So I think what I'm going to have to start to do to get better aligned, I'm going to have to document where money was only spent from the Chase card, and then match that up with these Chase payments. Because overall, I paid $394.09 plus $460.60 plus $323.16. So I paid $1,177.85 on the card. If I take out, I wonder if that 200 and some odd dollars is here, that was extra money that I had available. I put it on the Chase card to help pay that down, and that's why I don't have it in my accounts now. I think it's here. I've paid more money on my card than I spent. I know that for sure because my balance has decreased between last month and this month. The payment was actually due on the 24th, and I've already cleared the statement balance, which was over $1,700. So I have a feeling it's here. This $244.04 is in here somewhere. So the next time I do this paycheck closeout, what I have to make sure I'm accounting for is which of these amounts were actually spent on the Chase Freedom credit card. And then I need to still document the payments that I made. And I think that's going to tell the story. Because it's saying I should have $244.04 in my account, more in my account, but I bet you it's up in here. Okay, that's it. I'm not upset. I'm just frustrated because I cannot get to a good number. But this is all helping me to tweak how I'm, documenting everything. So I know for spent for this next paycheck cycle, I need to keep track of specifically what is being used or paid for on the Chase Freedom card versus what's coming out of my checking account, etc. That's it. Okay. Quite a long video. Thank you guys for hanging in there with me if you're still listening. And thanks everybody for your time. You guys have a good one.